Yeah, we like to interview influential women in the sport of archery.
We're obviously very laid back.
And if there's something completely inappropriate that happens, just tell Julie, edit that out. Basically, it's a bunch of girls talking about archery.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Bow Divas. We're here with Annalicia. Hello, Annalicia.
Hey.
And Julie. Hello, Julie.
Hello.
And thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. Much of our focus has been typically on shooters and competition and hunting and trying to get all the technical knowledge we can to be better shooters. But today, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the behind the scenes that goes on. All of us and many of our listeners have volunteered at times to work on shoots or set up targets or do a number of different activities that involve hosting events. And without those people, our archery events would not occur. So we're today very thankful that we have all the volunteers and all the people who help put on shoots and that sort of thing. And we have a couple of special guests today, a couple of ladies that are joining us to give us some insight in what it's like to have the great responsibility of some of the largest shoots in the country. So anyone who's attended any of the ASA shoots have at some point interacted with either of these ladies. We are joined today by Lorraine Tyrell and Jenny Tendick from the Archery Shooters Association. Hi, Jenny and Lorraine. Can you hear us? Hello. Anyway, so thanks so much for coming on today. We just kind of wanted to talk a little bit because ASA shoots are typically so extremely large, and it's mind-boggling how you guys manage it. So love to hear some of the behind the scenes that goes on. Can you give us? Let's start off, I guess, with Jenny. When did you start working with ASA and the organization?
I started in September of 2009 when my youngest started kindergarten.
Ah, okay. How did you come across? How did you? Were you shooting before that, or did you know Lorraine? Or
no, I have never picked up a bow in my life. I don't know how to shoot an arrow. I can do all the administrative stuff, but I know nothing about what you all do out in the woods. I actually worked. They had an office. And upstairs, they rented it to another gentleman, and he had run an ad. So I was an assistant for him and met Lorraine through going in and out the building and up to his office. And I just worked for him 2 hours a day, 2 days a week while my youngest was in preschool. And he ended up leaving his business, and so I quit. She took my number and said, when your son gets older and we have an opening, maybe you could work for us. And I happened to see her on the street one day when Cooper was starting kindergarten, and she's like, Jenny. And I was like, oh, hi, Lorraine. And she's like, is he in school yet? And I'm like, yeah, he just started kindergarten.
Well, that
she's
worked
like,
out.
You want to come to work for us? I was
There
like,
you go.
And that was the best day of my life.
That's good. That's good.
So you basically abducted Jenny off the street, is what you're saying, Lorraine.
I did, right in front of an ice cream shop.
That's hilarious.
That's how you got her, right? Ice cream and puppies.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so Lorraine, tell us about your beginnings with the ASA.
Okay, well, obviously, since I'm married to Mike, we go back to when he got the business, which is in 1996. But and I really didn't even truly understand what it was, what involved, ASA. Mm-hmm. And when our youngest went off to college in 2002, he said, "Would you just want to come in part time and help out a little bit?" And I said, "Sure." and that turned into full-time immediately, and I'm still there.
Oh, well, how nice of
So,
you.
but we all work together so well, and we're all a family, and that's the one thing about ASA that I have to say is that this is truly a family, and everybody's all over the country, but we all have a common bond that we share, and it's just truly amazing. Yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that's listening and say thank you, and thank you for coming to the tournaments, and we just do our best to try to please everybody.
Right, and I'm glad you kind of mentioned that too, because I know that you two do an enormous amount of work, but there's lots and lots of people that go behind making an event happen, and I think sometimes shooters get so wrapped up in their own shooting that they forget all that extra work. And so, again, we're all super appreciative, even down to local club levels. I mean, there's guys that get up at dark 30 on Sundays and set targets for people to go out and shoot 3Ds and stuff like that. So,
yeah, we really do appreciate what you do.
Anyway, tell us, and did I hear you? So you guys have been involved since 96. So this year was actually your 20th anniversary then. Is that correct?
It was Mike's
20th.
Mike's 20th anniversary.
Okay.
Wow.
I did not realize
that.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Anyway, how much has the attendance and the events grown since when you started?
Well, in 1997, membership was right at about 4,000. Wow. And now we've more than doubled, and we're just over 9,000 members. And that's including ASA members for clubs as well as for the tournament side. So, we've grown in leaps and bounds. And we averaged about 1,000 shooters per event in 1997. And in 2016, we averaged 1,700, with Kentucky having a record number of over 2,000 shooters. So it's just absolutely taken off. It's just crazy. And a big portion of that is because we've introduced the known distance element in 2007. And so we really saw a continuing increase in attendance after that. And just people that love archery, they just come shoot. But now we're really having growing pains, and we're trying to deal with all of this because, we're expecting around 2,000, 1,800 to 2,000 per event now in 2017. So
I would agree with that, and I'm glad we're talking to you guys too, because a lot of our listeners we have a pretty significant number of ASA shooters that listen to our program, don't you think? So
most of the people that we know personally that listen to us are also ASA members.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So we get a pretty tremendous amount of those folks, and so we can kind of pass along information too that you'd like people to know out there. So, but yeah, I think in Alabama last year, I believe that very first event, didn't you have like a whole bunch of people sign up the day of the shoot? Like more an abnormal.
She laughs.
Go ahead and take that one, Jenny.
Yeah, we had. I bet people stood in line for 2.5 to 3 hours to register at polling.
Holy cow!
It's like a rock concert.
It was.
And I'm sure
crazy.
everybody was pleasantly behaved and polite.
Most of them were. I mean, having 2,000 people there. Each tournament, we only probably have 2, maybe 3 people that get snooty with us.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, most everybody is, understanding and realizes that things are out of our control and beyond what we can do. We do the best that we can, and
right.
So
right.
It's nice. Everybody, kind of hangs in and lets us work things through and get them where they need to be, and is happy.
I know that we've talked about this in the past, about how archers are typically the nicest, most generous, giving, helpful folks out there that anybody could meet. So I would hope that they treat you ladies with the same, well, actually more respect and courtesy than they would anybody else.
Yeah, they do.
They're very
the most
nice.
part.
Good.
They bring me Dr. Peppers. They bring us Dippin' Dots in the summer.
Oh, that's sweet.
They bring chocolate.
They bring churros. Some of them make cookies and cakes and bring to the trailer for us to share. So
yeah, so maybe now's the time you could just put out there what are your favorite treats that you like to get while you're working. Make a list.
Yeah, we have Lucy and Tony come from England, and they bring us biscuits from England.
Oh, wow.
When they come. Yeah.
That's really
I'm
cool.
pretty sure they don't bring biscuits to everybody, so you're on the special person list.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
it was pretty cool.
That is neat. That is neat. That is a good idea. You can put together a list and we'll put it on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm thinking personally what I can take to them here and grease the wheels a little bit.
You're going to get so many people after this probably bringing you stuff. You're going to have to store it in a freezer.
You're going to have cases and cases. You turn around and sell it for a little profit at the back door.
Yeah, you can have like a little bake sale.
A little basket next to the register.
There you go. Anyway, so we're gearing up for next season, 2017. You've got a lot of shoots listed for next year. And Alabama, realistically, what's that, end of February or towards the end?
Yeah, like third weekend, last
that's
weekend.
That's just a little over 2 months away.
Crazy.
Uh-huh.
And so when does your work for that event really get started? When do you start seeing busy time? What happens there?
Oh, it's already started. Everybody calls it, the off season, but for us, there really isn't an off season. We come back from the Classic, and the 2 weeks after the Classic, we're pretty busy those 2 weeks, wrapping things up. You've got Shooter of the Year, you've got the Classic winners. We got to get the checks prepared and sent out. Verify the scores, and then we do take like a week, maybe 2 weeks. After that, the checks and everything are sent out, and just kind of, and then immediately we get started on the tour guide. We get started on sponsor letters. We get started on the pro letters. We get those things sent out in September. The tour guide, we get the sponsors, let them know when their ads have to be in, and it's going off to print hopefully this week, and will be mailed out in another week or two. And then in October, we're starting with printing our rosters for the 338 clubs that we have and sending out the renewal packets for them.
That's right.
So, we're going pretty much all the time.
Yeah, there really isn't a downtime then, is there? Because
no, there really. And then we also work on the rules too.
Yeah, we've got
there are some new rules for next year. So.
Yeah, in August, we do work on the rule changes after the Classic is over. Anything to the classes that we're adding for this year, anything that's been brought to our attention that Mike and the competition committee deem needs to be, reworded or revamped in the rules. Those go off to press in September. We've already done membership renewals and sent the new rules out. The 338 clubs we sent out, we've already renewed about 65 clubs for the 2017 season. So
I think
it's constant and ongoing.
Yeah, I think we just got cards in the mail in the last week or two. Our membership cards. Did you get yours yet?
Membership packet.
We always
Yeah, I think we've already mailed out 400 membership cards for 2017.
We always renew through our club.
Okay.
So we haven't gotten ours yet because our club hasn't sent everything in yet.
It sounds like to me that you need to add a third angel to your Charlie's Angel group there. Sounds like you need to deviate or grab somebody else that can help out, man.
Go back out and hang out by the ice cream truck again and grab another person off the street.
Yeah, you can be the ASA Angels.
Yeah, it's good though. It makes, your day goes by pretty quickly and you stay busy and there's always something to do. So
good.
It's just the two of you in the office. Is that right?
And
Mike. But then
occasionally he'll answer the phone too. So yeah, it's the three of us.
Okay.
Right.
But now how many people do you press into service at an actual tournament? Because I know sometimes I see more than just a couple of people in the registration trailer.
Yeah, that was kind of like
Right.
Oh, I guess I've jumped
We
ahead.
get there,
No, that's okay.
we get there on Wednesday. Mike goes in and he's there on Monday to start to be there for the truck when it arrives with the target. But Lorraine and I come up on Wednesday and get the trailer ready, and then Marcia comes in Thursday night and is there Friday to work in the trailer with us.
Right.
And then we have Angela and Stephanie that work out on the limb saver for us. We have Cindy who comes in and works the practice range. We've got 14 to 16 range officials. We've got Don Bailey, the tournament director. We've got Dee Fawkes there, the federation director, who does the kids program, plus answers equipment questions and federation questions. And then you've got Mike there that's overseeing the whole thing.
So
we've got 20 people.
And where are all of these people coming from?
Well, I know Fox live in Tennessee,
all
don't
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the three of us are in Kennesaw. We all live here together. But Marcia and Dee come from Tennessee.
Right.
Angela comes from Florida. Stephanie comes from North Carolina. Cindy comes from Louisiana, I think. And then the range officials come from just all over.
Right. Do the range officials, where do the targets come in from? And this is what was not a question on them. I mean, are they shipped in directly from like McKinsey?
They come in on a tractor trailer on Monday, and that's why Mike goes there on Monday to oversee the
they come in from Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah, they come in from Iowa.
Okay.
So they're transported from their factory in Iowa to whichever tournament we're going to.
Okay.
So they're always brand new
bring them in.
targets.
Yeah.
Brand new targets.
And then
to start the tournament.
Then if we want new targets, we know what day to look out for the tractor trailer to come through Missouri, maybe, and we can hijack it.
Oh my gosh, you're going to hijack the train? Oh.
My gosh, there's a range just sitting here.
I don't know where it came from.
We're missing.
Thank you, Santa.
That's a lot, because
exactly.
how many ranges are we up to now?
How many ranges?
It's always alphabetical, so there's like an ABC and a
we have about
DEF.
we have about 14 at most of the events. We have 14. I believe in Texas we have 11.
Okay.
So yeah, it's we're limited on space.
Yeah.
So is it just like craziness once you hit the ground there at the site and just everybody?
Pretty much. From
pretty
Wednesday
much.
to Sunday, it's non-stop. I mean, you hit the bed at 10 o'clock at night and you're ready to go to sleep.
I think
And
that
then
was
you're up at 5:30 in the morning getting ready for the next day.
right.
So it's 12, 14-hour days sometimes.
You need a vacation.
Yeah.
That's why we take Monday after a tournament off, and we're not in the office.
Okay.
Field calls.
I wondered if there was a sick
we
day
we rest on Monday.
Okay.
It's kind of like the football players.
Yeah. Mental Health Monday.
Right. There you go.
Mental Health Monday.
Exactly.
I like that one.
There you go. So
Taco Tuesday, Mental Health Monday.
what?
I thought it was Tequila Tuesday.
Oh, well, you can be that.
Doesn't that go with the tacos?
Yes,
There
Taco
you go.
Tuesday with a tequila.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
What kind of changes have you seen happen from an administrative perspective to handle the larger number of shooters, like computer software or changes like that, or rules and regulations even?
Lorraine, you want to? There's been more changes. She's been there than I.
Yeah. Well, from way back when there were no computers, you can only imagine everything had to be handwritten
Oh, wow.
and tabulated and checks. And I mean, I honestly, that was before I started working there, so I have no idea how they did that. Mike would be the one to have to tell you about that. But since I've been there, the chutes were smaller, so it still was a lot of work. But honestly, over this last year, with the growth that we've had, it was just absolutely crazy. It was just crazy the amount of work that we had, because Jenny would, she was the one that put the scores in up until this past year. She was the only one that did the scores.
Ooh, wow.
And it was a tremendous responsibility. You're talking how many 1,500, 1,600 scores, and she'd have to put them all in. Then we'd have to, print the sheets, put them out. People can look. And so, but the biggest change that we made was this past year with the database. And Jenny, you go ahead and take care of that question.
Yeah, we upgraded our database, and so with the upgrade in place, we were able to have multiple users input scores. So I got to have help with that.
Great.
That's a
that
good
was
thing.
The biggest thing with our old database is if you tried to have more than one person input, it just went down to nothing. So it was, it wasn't helpful. It was more time consuming to try to have two people enter. So
that kind of blows my mind.
It's been huge.
That you were the only one with that many scores,
Yeah,
because
that's incredible.
And it's frankly amazing because in the evening, I mean, everybody's screaming to try to pull them up on the website.
This is why she needs Dippin' Dots.
Dippin' Dots.
This is why she needs those Dippin' Dots.
That's why she's a Dr. Pepper addict.
The hardest one I did was when we had the Classic in Coleman, and if you all were there a couple years ago, our table, we didn't have our trailer. We sat up in the gymnasium, and I was scoring with that gym full of shooters.
Loud.
And I just had this, and I'm good at tuning. I can tune out and just do what I need to do. And it's funny because I would hear people stand there and they can see what I'm doing. And I'm just keeping my head down doing the scores. And they're like, wow, she's just like going to totally ignore it. It's just like, I'm putting in scores. I'm a little busy. There's two other ladies. Can you go down and talk to them?
Jeez.
It's,
we'd have to run interference because they say, I know you're busy, but, and you're going, really? Don't even go there.
She almost needed like a little tent set up just so she could hide.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah,
I've had that job at some small shoots.
Yeah,
trying to get scores in, and people are really anxious to know what they scored.
Right.
So then you get a lot of interruptions, like when are they going to be done, and so you get so many of those, and they're just. Right. I understand they're wanting to know.
How long is it going to take?
Right.
When you see this pile over here, I've got to get through all of those.
Right. And the thing you're trying to be nice, but the reality is the more people that interrupt you, the longer it's going to take.
That is the moral to this answer is
leave
these ladies alone.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring them Dippin' Dots, just drop them off and leave them alone.
Absolutely. I know. And then you get the ones that don't put their ASA numbers on the scorecard, or they put their wife's number instead of theirs, or they put their kid's number. So you've got all those things too.
We get a lot of zip codes. So then you have to stop, look up the proper. And if you can't read their name, then you don't know who you're looking at. But with the new database, our old database, we didn't know. So with the new database, after you put everybody in, at the bottom it has the names of the people who you didn't put a score in for, and so you can more quickly find. Oh, this is who it is.
Oh, okay.
So who created that database? Was it you guys that came up with it?
We have a couple guys that are in that business, and then they sat down with us, and the three of us, and we spent many hours going over how it needed to be, and because it's more than a database, it's also an operating system for keeping track of scores and doing all our reports, and so it's more than just a database.
Right. It's kind of a unique situation. That's why I was wondering if you all guys came up with it.
Well, plus I was going to also add that our old system that we had was archaic, and we were forever putting Band-Aids on it, and it was just a matter of breaking, and we had to do something before it broke. And so we were forced to have to do this, and it was the best thing we've ever done. So, it took a whole, 2 or 3 tournaments to work out the kinks and make sure everything's working correctly. But once it did, it was wonderful.
And I bet that was a little stressful with all the.
And I'm not one for change. I can't teach an old dog new tricks. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, and I mean, to be quite frank, I would never bug you guys, and it always blew my mind how that many people coming off ranges on, say, a Saturday, and literally 7 o'clock at night. A lot of times, you could start to pull up a lot of scores, wouldn't you say, Julie? Or
sometimes
7?
quicker than that.
Yeah, 6 maybe 7.
Somebody's really busting their behind to get those scores up.
I know. So with that kind of head count, that was pretty. That's a pretty phenomenal amount because I don't know. I've worked on some shoots we weren't that fast. I can just assure you that. So
So would you say that's
it's
your?
It's a lot of scores. I mean, you're looking at 2,000 a day. Plus, on top of that, we're also inputting the limb saver scores.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Would you say that's the biggest challenge that you face during a tournament weekend, or do you have something else that would be a bigger challenge than trying to
keeping just trying to make everybody happy? You have people who don't like the shoot times that we've offered, and so we try to accommodate as best we can so that everybody can come and shoot. So trying to keep them happy is hard. Getting the scores in, like I said, it was less pressure on me this year because I could have 2 other people inputting as well, so it wasn't just me having to get in 2,000 scores.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we have we sometimes have the challenge of internet connection.
Oh yeah.
To get the scores uploaded for everybody to see. So
that's true.
That's the challenge as well.
Based on like some of the locations
are
kind of
bad. I had some problems in Kentucky on Sunday getting the final scores up because of the storm that had come in. I just couldn't get connectivity.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, you're doing that all from site, right? So, like, you're not taking these back to the hotel and hooking up through the hotel's Wi-Fi. You're doing it right from the site.
Right, and then I try to do them, as quickly as I can. I don't, if I get a big group done, I will go ahead and upload them, for the whole class, and then, if it's another hour or 2 before other classes come off, I'll try to go ahead and get, what I have a completed class uploaded so people can see as soon as possible. Because I know they want to know where did they fall, where are they, what do they have to shoot the next day.
Right. Have you ever had a pile of scorecards missing for any reason, or has that? I can see.
We have had some senior masters put them in their pocket.
Gone home.
Literally have left on Sunday to go back home with them in their pocket.
Oh,
no.
I like how you called out the seniors.
Occasionally they've gotten, somebody will, I'll take these to the range official, and then somebody grabs them and they forget and they're in their stool. And, we'll come up and I'll be like, okay, I've got 8 cards. I've got this class and I'm missing 8 cards. So like 2 groups didn't turn in their cards. And we've always found them. I've never not ever found them. Sometimes it's a day or 2 later that they do get found.
Knock on wood. That's great though. With that many shooters at that big of an event, I could see where that would happen if you get distracted and the ranges.
Well, that's why we give everybody a week to certify scores before checks are written the following Monday because of these reasons.
Oh, okay.
The numbers are written down incorrectly, or their score looks like a 202, it could be a 2, whatever, 16, or 6 or something. So, that's why we give everybody that until the Friday of the week that we get back to certify after the event, right, to certify their scores so we can make them final and post them on Monday with the paybacks.
Okay.
That's a good thing to do.
I'm with you there. So you give it some time just to make sure if there's errors or corrections that need to be made, those can be done.
And time to track down missing scorecards.
Right.
And
track
a lot
down
of
the missing
times
one.
somebody has misadded, and so they'll call and say, I had a 212, and we'll say, but it's a 202 written on the card. And the important thing that people need to know is if they signed for a 202 and it's clearly written a 202, then they get the 202.
Right.
And by rules, I could deduct and make it a 192 because they signed an incorrect scorecard.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to give people the benefit of the doubt. They didn't, but at the same time, people, I am extremely strict with the children because I don't want them making these mistakes as they continue through.
Right.
And it's like, don't sign your card ahead of time. You need to look at your card after you shoot, make sure you agree with what your scorer wrote and that your score is correct before you sign it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's good.
It seems like a simple thing, but I'm aware it happens a lot.
Yeah, well, it happened to a very big name indoor pro last year.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, they had to change some rules
so I think
for him.
people who follow archery, archers who are into that, I think it made a lot of us
Think about it.
about it a lot more, to be careful and to double check our scores and to make sure the numbers are written clearly. It's just you're starting it with the kids. It's a good habit to get into.
Sure is.
Right.
Sure.
So, sorry, here we got.
Right, and when you're, and when you're sitting there putting in 2,000 scores, we don't have time to stop and add everything up. We have to go by what the shooters put in the box.
Right.
They put a 202 and 112, and really it was a 202 with 412. Well, I don't have time to double check to make sure your math is right. I'm sitting there putting in the ASA number, verifying the name, and then putting in the score that's in those two boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
So it's important that they look at that before they turn their card in.
Yes.
So Jenny says,
Double check.
double check your scores before you sign.
That's right.
I don't think I've ever had.
Make sure you don't use your spouse's ASA number because that'll happen. And I will admit, I get busy. I'm putting in the numbers. I see Frazier, the last name. I'm like, okay, I put in the score.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it comes up, and Jim comes up and he's like, I had a 420. I didn't have a 380. Well, these are the scores I put in. And then we go back and we pull the cards. Oh, well, you used her number instead of yours.
Right.
So she got your score.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I
And we
didn't
have
know.
couples
Yeah.
that use each other's numbers.
Mm.
She'll put his number on her card, and he'll put her number on her card. And so their scores will go to the wrong person because there's times I don't catch that first name.
Right.
I see the last name, and I put in the score, and I'm going. And,
Right.
but it's all correctable. It's nothing, that we can't fix.
Right. But at least have some, I don't know.
I didn't realize the spouse thing
awareness
came up
or-
that often, though. But you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
Well, this didn't happen at ASA, but a different organization, Vince went to a tournament and shot, and I did not even go to the tournament, yet
But
it was
came
my
up,
name
You had a score.
and a score. So I don't know what happened there.
Was it
but
like an NFAA thing, or
Must have been being a diva or
Yeah.
something.
So I mean, it's possible,
funny.
but the archers have to take on some responsibility on their end as far as I can totally see that, making sure that they're putting
I don't think Jim would know my
the correct
ASA number.
writing legibly, that sort of thing.
Right, yeah.
And then, and so many people reverse numbers too. Like it's 40133, they'll
Right.
put 40313,
Mhm.
and
Transpose.
so if it's not the correct total number, it's not helping us at all.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Just
they go,
adding
well,
to
I
the-
almost got it. Well, almost doesn't count.
Yeah.
So when you're what you're saying when you're entering them, you're really plugging in that ASA number, and then it shoots the name up, and then you're like, oh, okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Right.
That's interesting. So you're not having to type out names and that sort of thing.
Oh, no. No.
Good.
Okay, good.
No.
Good,
They're
good.
thinking,
No.
oh my gosh, don't add to my job load.
So when you get you said earlier too, you didn't get a whole bunch of complaints though. Is that fair to say? You're making it through most of the shoots without getting a ton of complaints, or?
Yeah, for the most part. Sometimes we tag team and other times we just handle them the best we can. But for the most part, when you think you're putting through so many people and sponsors and kids and, family members, and you just get a couple of complaints a tournament. That's a
not
good
bad.
tournament.
That's incredible. Yeah.
No, that's not bad. What are they usually about, would
That's
you
not
say?
bad. Shoot times.
Oh,
yeah.
They want...
I rode with so-and-so, and he's going to leave me if I can't shoot early.
Yeah.
So, the problem is you just have that much range capacity, and that's all you can do. And, like this one man last year said, well, what can you do for me? I said, well, I'm sorry, but absolutely nothing. We can't make a range for you. We can't go out and add more ranges. They think, oh, well, just add more ranges. Just add more, so we can all shoot at 8 in the morning on Sunday. It doesn't work that way.
Right. I think when
everybody add ranges.
Yeah, when everybody goes to these shoots, they need to understand that they have it could possibly end up where they get a time that they don't really want, but they need to think before they come up and approach you, because they're entering the tournament. They know that there's that range time available.
And that's the thing. We have the range times typically up on the website at least a month before.
Right. Yes, you do.
And they can see what their times are.
Yeah, so they need to plan their travel around the latest available. Yes.
Yeah, and compared to some other organizations, ASA, you ladies have that posted, like you said, so much farther in advance. A lot of these NFAA indoor tournaments, you don't know until Saturday night what time you're going to be shooting on Sunday morning. So,
exactly.
And you just have to go to that tournament with the understanding I might be shooting at 8 o'clock. I might be shooting at 11. That's just part of it, in my opinion.
Right.
And you just have to accept that.
And we have shotgun start times. And so we've got every class listed with this is your time. So, you know your schedule. If you can make 11 o'clock on Saturday and 8 o'clock on Sunday, then great, come shoot.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
I had a call. I had one person call me, and he said, I can't shoot Sunday. He was shooting all Saturday. His class was shooting all Saturday. And I said, well, you have the option of shooting Friday. Well, I can't shoot Friday.
Well,
and I said, well, there might be something we could do to get you on Sunday morning. Oh, I can't shoot Sunday.
When did he want to shoot?
I don't know when he wanted to shoot, but he didn't want to shoot all on Saturday.
Oh.
Okay.
He didn't. Okay. That was interesting.
Well, maybe he just wanted to see how much you would do for him.
I don't know. I was like, well, you kind of got me on that one. So.
That's
funny. We just had to shake our heads on that one and laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a toughie. Like,
oh, sorry.
Didn't want to do all the shoot on.
If I could have created an extra day in there, that'd be great.
Right.
Yeah. But do it. You're supposed to do a nighttime shoot and go out there and spotlight the target for him. I guess I don't know.
Above and beyond.
Maybe that's what he wanted.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, we do have people. Like we will start early after daylight savings and in the summer because it's so hot, and starting at 7:30. And one time we left the AM off, and they said, "Is that AM or PM?"
Yeah.
I went, really? Really? You're asking that question?
They just want to talk to you.
It's AM.
You never know.
Yeah.
ASA is going to start we call them coon shoots
Yeah,
around here.
by moonlight.
Yeah.
We're going to moonlight shot. Shoot. Oh, brother.
How do you manage to stay positive when it gets super stressful? Dr. Pepper and Dippin' Dots?
I just take a deep breath, and I know that nothing that I mess up is going to cause the world to come to an end.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? It can be fixed. We're all human, even the shooters. We all make mistakes, and things can be corrected. If everybody will just take a deep breath, take a step back, just relax.
Well, I have a different attitude. Jenny and Marcia keep me calm down.
Yeah.
They go, calm down. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Calm down. And then I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to. We let her be the excited one, and we stay calm, and we're like, okay, we're not going to get excited about this.
Yeah.
We've had to close the trailer windows.
Yeah.
And shut down all the computers and restart them and reboot them because we've had issues with things with the computers or the printers, and it's like when we've tried to do it, the windows open, people are just constantly asking questions. What's wrong? Why? It's like just a minute, and I'll go out and close the windows, and I'll be like, all right, just turn them all off. We're going to count to 100, turn everything back on, and then we'll open the windows and we'll start again.
I would close the windows and like be really quiet. We're not in here.
Yeah. Maybe they'll go away.
They'll go away. Don't answer the door. Don't make any noises.
Yeah, so listen, we have closed our windows to score, but it was so hot in the trailer we had to keep them cracked just a little bit. People would get down and go around and look in that little crack, and I'm going, excuse me, can't you see that we're closed?
That's hilarious.
Open an inch. You know, I'm going, oh, really?
They're sticking their eyeball through there.
Right, they're
hey.
like the little kids that are trying to get into the bathroom. You know, you've locked them out, or the dogs. Yeah. Fingers are coming in.
Oh my goodness, that's so horrible.
I know I'll scurry up to the trailer if we haven't pre-registered, and I'll be like, okay, I'm doing this. Okay, thanks. And I like get the hell out of there because I'm like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
I know these ladies are busy and I don't want to cause them any problems.
Right.
I try not to do it intentionally anyway. You're welcome.
Yeah, I try to be quick when we have to go to the trailer too.
I do
for whatever
too.
reason.
I do
Trying
too.
because I know you guys are super busy.
I have never been to your trailer, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just,
yay,
yes.
a converter.
Yes, we're trying to get her to an ASA.
There's just always such a barrage of
Good.
people at it, though. With
you have
questions
probably sent me a card before because we did our state ASA, and when we signed up,
And
they
you have
said,
to have
"Oh,
your you've got to have a membership if you're going to shoot your state shoot.
She did.
right, yeah, we got it," and so I got my card. But they said it was good for I don't know until the next year, and they lied to us. And it wasn't good. The people running the shoot did, not you guys. And it was only good until the end of the year.
December 31st of every year, regardless of when you get it. It expires December 31st.
Yeah, it's regular calendar year. You got to renew it each.
Yeah, they gave us misinformation, but that's okay. We still had a good time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, we're going to get her to Metropolis or Paris, Texas, hopefully.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good. Those are both good and fun events.
Do you have air conditioning on that trailer?
No.
Do we what?
Do you have any air conditioning on that trailer? An air conditioning unit?
No.
We do not.
Metro's really
we do
hot.
not, and we don't have heat either. So we freeze and we roast.
Oh.
But
you have electricity to it.
I think you need to
we
talk to
will
Mike
be getting
about
a
an
new
upgrade.
trailer this year with heat and air.
Good,
so we're going to be uptown.
Right on.
Yes.
Good. You deserve it.
Yes.
That made me very angry for a minute.
Yeah.
They're mistreating you.
Oh, well, I know.
So
we just grin and bear it. But,
yeah, I was going to say, Metropolis is usually extremely hot. It's usually 100 degrees practically. So I don't know how you guys could tolerate the trailer. I don't know. Everybody there, it's like everybody at the end of the day is so sweaty. You just kind of even like, I don't even care if everybody smells like BO anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody smells that way.
We definitely don't look our best at these tournaments.
Yeah.
So we're in the elements, so we're whatever.
Yeah.
Now, do you stay in
our hair in a ponytail and go?
There you go. Well, in talking about all of this, question popped into my mind. Do you stay at a hotel, or do you guys have an RV and stay on site?
No, we stay in a hotel. That's part of our contract with the site, is that they provide us with hotel rooms for our staff.
Mm-hmm.
So we all stay as close as we can to the tournament. Metropolis, we stay in Metropolis, so it's a 25 minute ride every day to the site. So, but we do stay in hotels.
Okay. I was just, I don't know, randomly curious about that.
Yeah, being stuck.
No, we don't have an RV.
After being stuck in the trailer all day, I'd want a nice regular hotel
shower.
Yeah,
I think I would too. And to get
with
away
air conditioning and heat, and a nice shower.
And maybe just to get off site a little bit too, just a change of scenery.
Right. And a lot of times we typically don't eat out at restaurants on Friday night and Saturday night because so many shooters will come up and start saying,
will find
"What's my
score?"
Yeah, and we need to decompress a little bit. So a lot of times we find takeout places or people to cater food for the staff because of that.
Yeah.
But
Never even.
But yeah, it is
that.
nice to stay in the hotels. That's for sure.
Have like paparazzi.
I never thought that, like
chasing you down the road.
Somebody sees Jenny. Hey, I'm Joe Smith.
Yeah.
What's my score?
Oh, I know.
What place am I
You wouldn't
in?
believe what some of them say. And then they come up to Mike.
We had people give us their scorecards.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah. They're limb saver cards. We're at the restaurant and they'll hand it to us.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, really? I know. It's pretty funny.
That is hilarious, actually.
It wouldn't be funny at the time, I tell you that.
No.
I wouldn't deal with that.
Oh my gosh.
Well, kudos to you ladies for keeping your composure in all of those situations.
I guess I'm actually glad I'm like not one of the people that's done one of these ridiculous
I wouldn't be able
things.
to do it.
I could.
Oh, I would be a person to do one of the ridiculous things. I couldn't do what Lorraine or Jenny do. And
No, I'm just what I'm saying is I'm glad I'm not one of the people who've gotten all the way home.
I probably have been at some point.
I bet Vince has.
Well, of course.
He's probably the one peeking in the window.
Sticking his fingers in there. Are you in there?
Nah.
Anyway, so the other question we wanted to know is like, is Mike really in charge or is it really you guys? Is it someone's phone?
Uh-oh. Oh, yep. Sorry, guys. That is my son's phone.
No, that's all right.
I can't find it. Hold on.
What is that noise?
It's someone calling with a score.
Yeah, somebody's calling.
Someone calls and wants to know their ASA number. So are you both there still?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. We all looked at each other like, I didn't do it.
Like, what's that noise?
Mm-hmm.
So where were we? We were talking. Oh, we want to know if Mike's really in charge, or is it actually you two, or Lorraine? Is it you?
Well, really, Jenny, the princess, is in charge.
Oh, Jenny the princess.
No, Mike is in charge. I mean, he's really got a Rubik's cube when it comes to these tournaments, and he just really gets everything to work. But he oversees everything, and Jenny and I handle the trailer activities as best we can, and occasionally we'll have to bring him in and ask him questions. But we're a team, and we work really well together.
Right.
So
That's good to hear.
And that's evident. It's a very well-oiled machine, and I think that's one of the many appeals that the ASA has for archers is because it is so well run.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you just put on a great event every time, and it just draws people in.
Yeah. You've just worked yourself into work.
Yeah.
You worked yourself into more work by being so good.
Well, like I said, we just do the best we can. That's all we can do.
I remember the first time we went, we got there, I think it was a Metropolis. I can't remember even what year it was, so many years ago. And we got there, and half the first day I was like, this is like Archery Disneyland.
Yeah.
I think I've heard it referred to that before.
Yeah.
It is. It's kind of like Archery Disneyland because there's so much stuff to do.
Yeah.
You know, you've got all the vendors, and you can go sort of play games like team shoots and the limb saver courses and stuff like that. So it is a lot of
practice
fun.
range.
Practice range.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they also have their Superman shoot, which is 2 days prior to our shoot starting.
Right.
So you can even come early and do that.
Metropolis. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a fun thing to do. It's kind of weird though because I'm used to being there with 1,000 other people running around, and you go for the city shoot, and of course not everybody's there at that point, and it's kind of weird really being out there and it's not crawling with people.
Is it? Do they do it at the shoot site? Mm-hmm. So it's all at the shoot site.
Is it still at the shoot site?
Yeah, it's still at the shoot site.
Okay.
They use our ranges.
Okay.
And then we replace the cores before our tournament starts.
Right.
So
you guys start with a new range every single tournament. Is that correct?
For the most part, the competition ranges are new. The limb saver and the practice range sometimes are carried over from the past tournament.
Okay.
And we put in new cores.
Okay.
So the competition ranges are new.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because I know that we've been involved with some clubs that have purchased some of the ranges, and that's a great deal too.
Right. Yeah,
By purchasing the range, what does that
Like
mean?
at the end of the shoot, for example, Carrollton, I think, was it last year or year before last, purchased
both years.
a
A half a range each year.
Okay.
Oh, so just buying the animals.
Right.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
that
The
was a question
targets.
I had, and I think you guys have said purchasing the ranges, and I keep thinking, what does that mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's the animals, and I think do they give them new cores too? But it's a great way for 3D clubs to, at a lower cost than buying brand new targets, to replace some of their ranges
Yes.
and that type of thing. And I think D kind of promotes that quite a bit with any of the ASA Federation clubs, correct?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, he promotes it to the clubs, and then they call the office and talk to Jenny about the targets.
Okay, so Jenny even does
about
that.
purchasing.
Wow. A lady of many
Right.
talents.
So she runs that program too.
Does
She and
Jenny-
Mike run the?
Does Jenny not do anything? I mean, is there nothing she
Yeah.
she does?
No, she does everything. I
She
told you
does.
she's my angel.
I think you called her a princess.
Well, she's our princess.
She's an angel.
That's right.
We have
That's
proof.
it.
It's
It's the
recorded.
AS Angels.
The AS Angels. I like it.
Anyway,
It's Charlie calling.
Charlie calling.
You're the Charlie's Angels. I mean, /
Oh,
ASA
yeah.
Angels.
That's funny. That's dating you.
Yes, it is. There is a new version, though. I feel a little better
Right.
since there were.
Yeah, I
like
think she's
Drew
referring
Barrymore's-
to the
I
new
remember
version,
Charlie's
not the
Angels.
original, like the rest of us remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I remember the original.
Yeah.
I do remember the original too. for
Farrah
sure.
Fawcett. And
I
Exactly.
actually never saw
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I never saw the original.
What?
I don't think I have ever seen it.
I think Jim had a Farrah Fawcett poster when he was a
What
teenager.
boy didn't? It's not like making him the only boy that had
True.
one.
True. Well, yeah,
Oh, that's
that's true.
funny.
Well, since we kind of to the end of our questions, unless there's anything you wanted to add.
Well, you did have one question here that we would like to emphasize. You wanted to know what shooters can do prior
Yes.
to coming to the shoot.
oh, yes.
Yeah. Get their membership ahead of time.
Mm.
That's one of the reasons Foley's lines were so long last year, is because they were renewing memberships and registering for the tournament. So
Yeah.
Oh,
it will save so much time if they go online or call the office and renew their membership before the event.
and so remind me too, if someone's renewing a membership, what's the cost for just like an amateur member? Is
An
it
individual membership is $35,
okay?
and a family membership is $50. And a family membership consists of husband, wife, and their children that are 21 years of age and younger.
Okay. So, and they can
And
do that all online prior to the shoot. Renew the membership.
Right, or they can call the office. Our online, we upgraded our database for last year. This year we are upgrading our website. And it's, fingers crossed, it will be up and running after January 1st.
Okay.
So they'll be able to go online, and in the past, you could only register one person in the family at a time. And
Oh.
we're hoping that with our new website, it's going to be automated with our database, and they'll be able to do their families as one transaction instead of having to do 2 or 3 transactions.
Mm.
Well, that'll be nice.
So we're
That'll be
excited about the
helpful.
Yeah,
website
that'll be
being
good.
up and running,
So that's
hoping that'll speed things up for people.
yeah. So
Um,
so you're that really impacts you really on that first shoot because it's the first one of the year and a lot of people are basically being tardy renewing their memberships.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Usually about the first 3 events, we register quite enough. We do new memberships or renew memberships for the first 3 events, and then it
Right.
kind of slacks off a little bit. And then in June we get hit again with the big membership rush because people want to shoot their state shoots, and in order to you can shoot a
Oh, yeah.
qualifier without an ASA membership.
Right.
But to shoot the ASA state shoot, you have to have an ASA membership.
Right.
So in June, we'll start getting a lot of people getting their memberships because they want to shoot the July state shoot.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, gotcha.
And don't transpose your credit card numbers when you register, or Lorraine or Jenny will call you personally. Say, your card didn't go through.
If you do it online with the new website that's coming up in January, you'll be putting that in, and you'll get a it's just like if you're doing it with Amazon or something. You're either going to get approved or transaction will fail right there with you. So
yeah, because I know I've done that a couple of times. I've registered us from my phone, and I hit the wrong number or whatever, and I'll be getting a phone call, and it's like,
system, those would come in, and I would manually print those and process them. But with our new system, it's going to be automated, and when you put it in, it goes in, and I don't have to do it again. It'll be done. So.
Well, good. That's good. Try to make your life easier.
So that'll be nice.
The Monday before a tournament, she literally, after the weekend, would have 100 onlines to process on Monday before we're leaving on that Wednesday.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. So this is going to help tremendously with this new system.
That's good.
So we're still going to print shooter cards and mail the shooter cards out and everything, but as far as registering, it's going to help a lot.
Awesome. That's good.
And for Foley, we're planning on we have 3 windows in the trailer, and for Foley, we're hoping to have one window that'll be just for registration. So people that have already renewed can just go to that window. They don't have to stand in line waiting for people to fill out the sheet or give us their
That's a good
address
incentive.
and their birth date. They can just go right to that registration window and register for the shoot and be on their merry way.
Yeah, that'll be a good incentive. People will be remembering that VIP line, going, I don't want to stand in that other line.
Well, it's funny because we registered. How many do we register on site in Foley? 900, close to 1,000.
Close to 1,000.
Well, by the next tournament, you can bet that a bunch of people called the office or did it online because they said, we don't want to wait in that line again like we did in Foley.
So that's
what... Then again...
Yeah, when we left at the other tournaments, we already had like 1,200 registered when we left the office.
Wow.
Right. And typically we'd have 700-800. And then depending on weather, we'd get 700-800 on site. But in Foley, we didn't know what to expect. It was a brand new site. So we had no clue. And that's when we also had to close the Limb Saver range and use it as a competition range.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we had so many people in the known 45 class. So...
I remember that. It was...
Yeah, we were kind of a little bit overwhelmed in Foley with it being a brand new site and having 1,900 competitors.
Right.
It's crazy.
And that's when a lot of people had to tell her...
Some of this stuff you can't plan for because you don't know.
Right.
We plan our best and Mike plans for, anticipating what we're going to have. But sometimes all these shooters surprise us and we get like 300 or 400 more than what we, thought we were planning big and we get even more than that. So,
well, then
Mike gets to maneuver the Rubik's Cube, and we have to change things around, and that's where we need people, to be flexible and realize that things come up and things happen, and we've all kind of got to give and take a little to get everybody, through and out in a timely manner.
Right. Well, I thought Foley was a really cool site. We went there last year. And it's just a nice location. There's lots of room. And then do you think, I wonder if being like near the beach there, I think some people kind of packaged a vacation around it personally. You know what I mean?
They did.
Like they'd stay a couple extra days.
And it's funny because after that shoot, we had phone calls in the office and, what's the date for Foley next year? I want to reserve a condo,
Yeah, that's good.
We had just gotten back from there. So, yeah, people are definitely... I don't know if you all went to Myrtle Beach when we were in Myrtle Beach, but it was the same type of thing. You're close to the ocean and you want to make it a family vacation. So they're going to take advantage of that.
Right. So it kind of has a couple of extra, I think, you don't really stay in Metropolis extra days, I guess.
Not really.
No.
Turn that into a vacation.
No, you don't.
But Foley, you definitely could.
Unless you want to shoot your bow and then you go to the Superman shoot. Other than that,
Yeah. So, well, I didn't have anything else to ask at this point. I really appreciate that. And you know what? We'll kind of put some notes out there on our Facebook page come January, reminders. Hey, if you're not registered yet, Foley's around the corner. Do your registrations online.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So you don't have to stand in line with 900 people.
Yeah, that would be awesome if you would do that.
Yeah, we will.
We will.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we absolutely will. So, was there anything else you guys wanted to add, or?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot. So, I mean,
probably
Jenny,
more
do
than
you
they
want to
want
add
to
anything?
know.
No.
Yeah, probably more.
More than they want to know.
You know what? I think the listeners are going to find this very insightful, because I don't think a lot of them, and I'm not talking about the women as much as the men, probably don't know how much work goes into, unless they've ran a shoot, how much work goes into what you all do, and to appreciate you ladies a little more. Not that archers are bad people, but just to
No, I know.
They just don't think about it.
They
I
just
think.
don't think
They're not
about
aware.
it, and they just come to the shoot and assume that it's going to be this way or that way. And really, it takes so much work to do that.
Yeah, and that it's easy peasy and magic, and it just happens.
Right.
That's
right.
Right. You all are the magic
Right.
that makes it happen.
Right. You mean like how dinner gets cooked at home and the laundry
Right.
does itself and the house cleans itself? It's magic.
Isn't that magic?
It's magic.
It is exactly that way. So I think that it's going to open a few eyes. Go ahead.
As much as what Lorraine and I do in the trailer, I have to say there is no way I would trade places with Mike, Don, or a range official any day.
Right.
What those guys do, moving those targets and setting the ranges and doing breakdowns, and I mean, that is hard work. Those guys are out there in the heat, in the cold.
They probably think the same about your job, though.
With them for nothing. I mean, they work harder than we do. Ours, I get stressed sometimes. But what they do is
hard work.
Hard work, and the weather conditions that they do it in, and they all do it with smiles and are happy to be there. And
and we all, and we take it all for granted.
Yeah,
those the archers that come and shoot. I think a lot of us take it all for granted.
Well, I mean, it goes in every part of the ASA too, because you look and see what Jim does as the state director.
Right.
He's dealing with everybody on the state level like we're dealing on the national level. So, it goes without saying that every facet and every part of our organization, everybody works their butts off. And it shows.
Yeah.
I just have to say that it shows. And we couldn't do it without everybody working together and making it a whole. So it's pretty amazing. It really is.
Right. It is. I agree. You got a lot of great people that are working on these shoots, and it's again, the vast majority of people that I've ever talked to really, really enjoy it. I mean, we've had some new shooters come, and they're the first time they go and they're just mind blown. They're like, "Oh, when's the next one? Oh, I gotta go." So it's it's a super fun event for a lot of people, and we greatly appreciate all your work and Mike's work and the rest of the ASA folks, and definitely look forward to seeing a bunch of you guys next year.
Thank you, ladies, so
much.
We
do too.
Yeah.
We will be there.
Awesome.
Come rain or shine, we will be there.
We appreciate it.
I might even wear my tiara.
There you
go.
Oh,
you should. Yes. Do it.
You are a princess.
Do it.
Anyway, we'll warn people, though, to stay away from the ice cream trucks if they see Lorraine around. She might be coming to steal them. So anyway, well, you ladies have a great evening, and thanks so much for getting on the podcast with us and talking about this, and very much look forward to next year, and we'll try to help you out and make some announcements on our end. We have at least 10.
Awesome.
We have at least 10 listeners that'll probably we might get to register.
She always says 10.
Oh, we're up to 12.
Any little
maybe.
bit helps.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right. Well, thank you all so much, and I really enjoyed this conversation, and if you need to call us again, don't hesitate to call.
All
Just
right.
not next Thursday.
All right.
Poor girls.
Well, we can't do a phone a friend with you.
Yeah, phone a friend.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, are we? Oh, they did. She's
No,
looking at my phone. So that was really interesting.
Yeah. I enjoyed hearing
Yeah.
all the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And Barb, like you said, and Annalise, I know you've done it too, where the local shoots, the smaller shoots, and
Yeah, I feel like really
the registration.
I
and the
feel like
scores
really
and all of
lame
it.
because I have struggled getting 60 scores.
Yeah, well, but you can kind of relate though, because you can just imagine that, blown up however many more times over that, and
Right.
just all the amount of work that goes into something
Right.
of that magnitude. I mean, it's bad enough for just our little 60.
Yeah, it takes me 3 hours to get 60 scores in.
So I have a new appreciation for
So
what they do.
If I had like over 1,000, it'd be next week before anybody'd see their score.
Maybe a couple weeks.
Exactly.
So we wouldn't have to worry about people losing their own scores. You would do it.
Be like, I'm sorry, they all accidentally caught on fire. I threw gasoline on them. I don't know what happened.
That's funny.
So, oh man, yeah, that's pretty impressive though. It
I'm
really
very
is.
impressed.
It
Yeah.
is really impressed.
And I wasn't exaggerating when I said, like, I've gone up to the trailer and registered or whatever and then scurried out of there because they are busy. And
Yeah.
sometimes you can tell they're a little harried and a little stressed out. And I feel bad. And it's like, oh, my God, I hate being one of these people doing this to you. And, that wasn't an exaggeration. I mean, you can really can really tell when they're really being socked with a lot to do.
Yeah.
Which I would assume is every shoot because with
is.
the amount of numbers that are, and they keep going up for the ASA, and I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. So, I really meant, I think they really should get a third person. I mean, just to take some of the workload, even though they've got this program change, sounds great, but
Yeah, even though the indoor shoots, they're growing too.
yeah, they
I
are.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
this coming weekend, which actually this
Midwest
episode
Open
will,
is
the
completely
Midwest Open
sold out.
is
Yeah.
complete. Is that the first time that's ever happened, or
No, because it used to be Presley's.
And it was
it-
a much smaller venue.
Smaller venue, and you would almost have to have shot the year before in order to shoot the next year. So it's not the first time it's sold out, but the first time I think at
This is a bigger
Maybe at
venue.
this venue.
Yes.
I think.
So I guess what I'm saying is we're seeing bigger numbers all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there a record number at Vegas?
I think there's been a record number every year I've gone.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's
just
gotten
continues to
bigger
grow.
and bigger and bigger. And nationally, I mean, nationwide as well, because, Vegas is the world shoot, so that helps
Yeah.
out too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I don't remember what the total number was at my first ASA, which was I think in
I want
2007.
to say it was like 1,100 or when I went or 1,000. I remember I thought my mind was blown because it was over 1,000 people.
And it might have been that many. I don't remember. That was 9 years ago,
And now
almost
she's
10 years
saying-
ago.
I think it
what's the
was
number?
I think it was in 2007 the first time I went. Yeah, I think there
and
was
I just
like
went
over
to the one. It was Metropolis, and yeah, maybe around 1,000. I'm thinking
Yeah.
800 keeps jumping out at me. I don't know why. But,
maybe
and now look at it. And
What is it now?
almost 2,000.
2,000.
Yeah, it's well, she was talking about the members, the registered members. They've went from 4,000 to 8 or 9.
9,000.
So they've doubled.
Yeah, but just the attendance at the shoots has really grown exponentially in like the last really 4 or 5 years. It seems like it's really made this big noticeable jump.
Yeah, Foley last year, and it's a great site, but it was a bit chaotic, and they had an enormous amount of people register on site, and so there was a line there for most of the day. That was a couple hours to wait to get registered. And
That's
then
any shoot. Everybody needs to just do that. Just register before any shoot, no matter if it's ASA or NFA or
it's
any
definitely
other-
helpful.
Yeah, just let them know. It's like RSVPing to a party. If they don't know that, you're not getting fed.
Right.
I mean, I wish they
That's
could
a
be like that.
That's how we met. We Message that on Facebook. RSVP or you're not getting fed. Or not shooting in this case.
That's feeding your addiction.
It may very well eventually get to that.
Where you just have to pre-register?
Yeah, you have to, or you know, it's likely going to start to become that way.
I would think so.
At the numbers they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if it's only 2 ladies doing all that, geez.
Well, at the days of the shoot, they have Marcia shows up.
Marcia's in there, and she mentioned a couple of other ladies. And I've seen like D in there sometimes working, and so I don't know what he's doing exactly, but I have seen him in the trailer.
He's looking busy.
Yeah.
Just looking busy.
Keeping his hens in order.
Yeah. But
anyway.
yeah, no, it's a great organization, and I was hooked from day one.
Yeah, it's
that
fun.
Was
it is
10 years ago. So
it's kind of mind-boggling, though.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the one you guys want me to go to?
Either Metropolis or Texas, Paris,
Texas is a nice one.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to do Texas over Metropolis. If it's cold in Metropolis, I want to go to Texas.
Yeah, it'll be hot in Metropolis.
Metropolis
it's either hot
is usually
or rainy.
super hot.
Metropolis, what state?
Illinois. Just
I want to go to Texas.
Just across the river from Paducah, Kentucky.
No, I would like to go to Texas. Then I can throw in a Gator Gar shoot too, maybe.
There you go. It's going to be back in April in 2017, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think.
Metropolis?
No.
Texas. Oh, Texas. Texas is in April, I think.
Yeah, they've kind of played with moving the dates around on some of the shoots.
There's an added shoot this year.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it?
I don't know. I'll have
Another
to look it up.
Alabama
I don't remember.
or Georgia. I'd looked at it once, and then, of course, my memory's pretty limited.
What's the one in California?
Are they going back to Coleman? Oh, Redding is the one in California.
Yeah.
Are you going to that one?
That's on my bucket list.
Everybody talks about how cool that is. Is that ASA?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, what is Redding? Is it what's sanctioned? Is it
I don't know.
I don't know either. Is it a USA Archery or?
I think it is. Yeah, I think you're right. We'll have to look it up.
Somebody's probably yelling at their radio right now.
Right. Well, not right now because they're not hearing this
Next
yet.
Thursday they'll be yelling.
No, as I'm speaking.
Oh.
In the future.
We're time traveling now.
Well, I'm not talking right now. I'm talking when they hear this in the future. I'm speaking to them.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
We can time warp it.
Okay, the Western Classic Trail Shoot and NFAA 3D marked championship.
I know. I've watched you sit there, and I didn't realize when you had your legs up that he was behind you. Otto is sitting behind Barb. Sorry. It's Otto. The podcast dog is like one of those little tube pillows behind Barb's back. Keeping her warm. It is kind
of, actually. It's kind of keeping my lower back warm.
I don't know. I'm not seeing where it's sanctioned by any particular organization.
It said NFAA. I thought you just
said. NFA, I thought it was, but then I read more. NFAA is also at the same time having their 22nd annual marked 3D championship.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I don't know. I'm sure somebody will message us and let us know for sure. But just a quick look on the site.
Not seeing the
Straight Arrow Bow Hunters site. I'm not seeing it. But it seems like USA Archery has something to do with it. But I just
maybe
I don't know. It's one I want to go to,
but
it's one I don't know very much about.
Everybody talks really highly about it.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Me too.
I just want to be able to say I did it. I went and did it.
Maybe it should be a Divas weekend.
I'd go California.
Mm-hmm.
You betcha.
I've never been.
And it's in Northern California, too, where the mountains are.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, I don't know. I don't see anything. Yeah. Okay.
It's cool. Nothing.
I mean, it's called Redding, so figure it out.
Yeah.
Sorry. You people in the future.
You people in the future.
I think Bertha is rearing her ugly head.
Bertha. Contain yourself.
My name is Bertha.
Yeah.
All right. Wrap it up.
Oh, are we done talking? I think we are. You know, this is like
we're
we're less than 2 hours of talking. That's amazing.
It's incredible.
I know.
You stuck to the list is the deal.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, I
I
think since both of them were going to be on different phones, that was kind of like
you needed to.
They wanted to make sure that
they weren't talking
right.
Over.
They weren't talking over each
that was
other,
a good
and
idea
that they kind of had.
They're
prepared.
so organized. They even organized us.
Yes, I know.
Yes, they made us better.
They did.
I know. I tell you, we're lame. I can't get 60 scores in 4 hours, and yeah. So
well, I mean, it is their job,
right?
It's their full-time job. So I think I could do it if it was my full-time job because I love archery. I mean, I don't like numbers, so no, it couldn't be my full-time job. No, when she was rattling off stuff and like having to type it in, I was like, oh. I was just thinking how horrid that would be.
They have it down to an
Yes,
art
they do.
and a science.
Yeah.
Because it is, like I said, it's mind-boggling when you sit there and you like, man, I got a lot of scores in, and we're seeing them online in just a few hours.
Yeah, I mean, the turnaround time on
The turnaround time
uploading
is
the
amazing.
scores is
I'm
very,
interested
very
to
good.
know now what NFAA, how many people they have, because when they open their windows there at South Point, there's 8 women standing there.
What are there
taking register-
normally 3,000 people at Vegas?
Something like that. Yeah. Yep. So I normally see about 6 women,
There's
something around there, entering in signing you all in and making sure you're registered and all that.
And that's something that's different is at an ASA, you don't register, you don't check in or anything because they will mail your card ahead of time.
Yeah, if you're
Oh.
pre-registered, you'll get everything, so you really don't even need to stop
What
at
if
the
you
booth.
forget it?
You
Then
can
you have
print
to stop
another
it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll print you one.
Okay.
It's like $1 or something for a replacement card.
Okay.
And then if you sign up late enough to where they don't have time to mail it to you, they have like a card catalog, a box in alphabetical
You
order
just grab them.
in front of the trailer, and you just go through and find yours and grab it and go.
Okay. Do they give out goodie bags?
No,
No goodie bags. I was just wondering.
they are the goodie bag.
They are the goodie
Yeah.
bags.
Yes, it's Archery Disneyland.
It is archery.
Yeah. I mean, there is so many different levels to that shoot. I mean, it sounds like you could do like 4 or 5 different things at once if you were 5 people.
What?
She's time traveling again.
Boom! I just blew it. I'm Alicia here blowing minds.
Oh, the places we could go with that.
Anywho, all right.
On that note,
So if you want to time travel into getting us some interesting information and you want to send it to us on Facebook, and we're the Bow Divas podcast. And so yeah, that's what we mostly respond to. We do have a webpage, www.bowdivaspodcast. Or wait,
Wait, is it just
I think it's bowdivas.com.
see, we never get.
I don't know.
never get this right.
Actually, we probably need to talk about that. I'm thinking about letting it go.
Yeah.
The website, because I can't keep up with it, and I know you guys are busy, and you're probably not going to want to keep up with it either.
I could never. Yeah, I'm good with the Facebook.
Get in touch with us through Facebook is pretty much
yeah.
how everybody, or in
And
the
I-
Instagram pictures.
Yeah, try to post on Instagram. Not
Right.
as good about it as Facebook.
Yeah.
It's the go-to social media for us.
Right, I feel sorry for the younger ones that got that slap face or whatever
Yeah.
they play on.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slap face.
Whatever.
face. Yeah,
It merges the two.
we're not doing that.
No.
It's an achievement keeping up with what we have.
Right, I know. I feel sad for them because a lot of them don't even have Facebook, so they don't even know what that means.
Oh well.
So anyway, you just get a hold of us on Facebook if you need a question answered, or there's something that you would like to hear on a podcast or a podcast idea.
Or a person that you think we should
interview yeah,
or
sure.
highlight.
Somebody
bring
you'd
some
like to hear
attention to them.
from.
Yeah.
We probably should, like, maybe one of these days put together a list of all our prior podcasts and where to go find them.
That's a
It's
good
the
idea.
Outdoor Podcast channel.
Yeah.
So we need more downloads.
Just
Mm-hmm.
mainly so we can brag to the bow dudes.
Have we checked to see if our download number is up
Hit
to 10,000?
10.
I haven't checked recently. I mean, I checked the other day, and it was pretty much the same as it had been from the time before. So
Right.
after tonight, though, I'm sure it'll
it'll go up
way over that.
Right. So I don't know, maybe we'll do something on Facebook next week. Time travel, because maybe we'll do it before you hear this about giving away the hat.
Yeah, I know. That's what I always
Maybe
think
not.
about. Yeah.
We don't know. All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
Peace out.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Yeah.
Bye.